How many Dogecoin would it take to make you a millionaire? Dogecoin, the OG meme coin. It has outperformed several cryptocurrencies. Dogecoin was created as a joke, but people are taking it a lot more serious, that's for sure. But can Dogecoin really make you a millionaire? We're gonna look at it and see. But first you have to understand, what is Dogecoin? Is it really worth it? Are people really gonna buy it? Is there a use case for Dogecoin? How does it all work? I'm gonna cut straight to it. I am super bullish on Dogecoin, probably one of the most bullish YouTubers out there. Why am I so bullish? Honestly, I think it's absolutely crazy that it was created as a joke, not expecting it to go anywhere, but it's kind of ironic it's in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. We're gonna talk about it. Obviously, this is not financial advice, this is just my opinion, but I predicted some crazy things. So wait till the end because you're gonna see my price targets and where I expect Dogecoin to go to in the next little bit, and where I expect it to go long term. It's actually gonna blow your mind, so stay tuned. Let's understand what Dogecoin actually is. This is dogecoin.com. And as you can see here, it says the people's currency. What is Dogecoin? Why is it different from Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? Well, as you can see here, Dogecoin is an open source peer-to-peer digital currency, kind of like Bitcoin, but it has a lot faster transactions. Dogecoin has better transactions per second in comparison with other cryptocurrencies. For instance, Ethereum can only handle 25 transactions per second, and Bitcoin can only handle 3 to 6. Dogecoin can handle up to 30 transactions per second. In my opinion, I think Dogecoin would be a better use case for a currency versus Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is great for a store of value to hold your wealth in, but as far as transacting on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's very slow. Each transaction takes about 10 minutes, and whereas Dogecoin is a lot faster. Here's some interesting on-chain facts about Dogecoin. The number of transactions exceeding 100,000 has increased significantly in the past little bit. You can see back here, people started to accumulate Dogecoin back in August of 2022, and in October there were a ton of transactions over 100,000. This joke is not so much a joke anymore. With these large transactions of over $100,000, people are catching on to it and want to get in on it. Here is the most profitable Dogecoin miner, making $31 per day, $930 per month, and about $11,000 per year. During the bull market, when Dogecoin was around 75 cents, I've seen this upwards of $150 per day. I don't even know what the month was, but this was at $50, $60, $70,000 per year. This is the Antminer L7, the 9.5 gigahash. Because Dogecoin works off of proof of work, just like Bitcoin does, it needs these miners in order to validate the transaction and to search for more blocks in the blockchain. These are big boys. They pull 3,400 watts and need to be plugged into 220. Can you guys remember this guy, Slumdoge Millionaire? He put $250,000 in last April, and then at the peak of Dogecoin, he had well over $2 million. He hasn't sold a dime. He hasn't sold any Dogecoin, but in the past day, he went up $209,000 or 62%. At one point, this dude's portfolio was well over $2 million. Isn't that kind of crazy? He turned $250,000 into $2 million and then held it all the way back down to $200,000. Currently, he's at $544,000. Would you guys have sold? I would have a hard time selling not at $1 million. As soon as I hit $1 million, I would have a hard time not selling that. Can you imagine having $1 million in your hand? Can you imagine having $1 million in Doge in your hand? It's so crazy. This is kind of a crazy tweet. 62% of Dogecoin wallet addresses are now in profit. That's actually a huge percentage considering a lot of people that bought at the top at 70 cents, 60 cents. There's now 62% of Doge holders are in profit right now. Here's an interesting fact. This is one of the biggest Dogecoin holders. They hold 1.2 billion Dogecoins, valued at $153 million. The first time that they bought Dogecoin was back in August of 2022, and they just added a huge stack just barely in October. So these big Dogecoin whales are actually adding to their stacks. Here's another huge Dogecoin whale, holding over 1 billion Doge, worth $123 million. The first time this guy bought Dogecoin was back in 2016. And the last time he bought it was back in May of 2022. Like I was saying, these whales are actually adding to their stacks. They're not selling it, they're actually adding. You can see right here a list of all the times this wallet has transacted, and I don't see him taking out any of his Dogecoin. This is kind of crazy. In 2016, he added about 500,000 Doge worth $142. At the time, his portfolio was worth $285,000. Right now, it's sitting at $122 million. It's actually fun to look at these because you can actually see when they buy cryptocurrency or sell it. This one is crazy. Back in 2016, he added 200 million Dogecoin worth $57,000. That is now worth $24 million. So let's jump into it. How many Dogecoin would it take to make you a millionaire? This is the Dogecoin chart right here. We're currently sitting at 12 cents. And in the past week or so, we've seen about 154% increase. But hear me out. This is what I think. I think we're actually in a bull flag. So for the history of Dogecoin, as you can see here, historically, we're always in a bull flag. This is how it plays out every single cycle. We bounce around in this bull flag, as you can see, until we break out. And when we break out, we go hard. And then we come down, retrace a little bit, and then break out hard again. And then that's when you can form this flag pattern. This was back in 2020 when Dogecoin ran from well under a penny up to 70 cents. You can see we broke out, we kind of retraced a little bit right here, and then we broke out again. So there's always two legs to it. We have a breakout, consolidate, breakout. I think we are in that current situation right now. We just broke out. I think this is gonna go a lot higher. It could take a little bit, could take a couple months, could take a couple years, whatever. But I think we're gonna break out, consolidate, and then break out again. So how am I gonna get my price target? Well, I'm gonna do it according to technical analysis. I'm gonna take from the top of this to the bottom of it, drag it over, and put it at the breakout point right there. And that's where the price target would be. This actually exceeded it a little bit, but it landed when the candle closed. It actually landed fairly close to that level, and that was around the 30 cents, 35 cents, somewhere around there. But it actually went up to 74 cents, as you guys know. So how am I going to get the price target for this leg? Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from the top of this candle right there down to the breakout point, right? Drag it over here, and we're going to get a price target of around 7, 8. I'm saying $10. That's what I'm saying, because $10 is a psychological level. Just like when Dogecoin right here went up to about 75 cents, it's a psychological level. Right here, it went a little past 1 penny, but it hung around that penny area. I think it's a psychological level, and that's why I think $10 is a realistic price point for Dogecoin. I'm not saying it's going to go there in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and it very well could, but this could be like a couple years down the road. Maybe 4, maybe 3, maybe 5. Who cares what it is? As long as it gets there. It could go like this, for a while, and then eventually hit up there in 2025 or 2024. Doesn't really matter as long as it gets to that point. A lot of people are going to call me crazy, but Dogecoin, as you know, was created as a joke, but it's not a joke anymore. Elon Musk just bought Twitter, and he tweets about Dogecoin all the time. So once he pushes Dogecoin, I believe it can reach that $10 for sure. It might just take some time to get there. So how many Dogecoin would it take to make you a millionaire if the price was $10? That would take you 100,000 Dogecoin. And at the current price of Dogecoin, that is about $12,000. You give it another few years, you give it some momentum, you give it some good tweets, and I absolutely think Dogecoin could hit 10. Thanks for watching. My name's Colton. Peace out.